what on earth are we going to cook for dinner? But fear not, our next guest has made this dinner time dilemma his full-time job, helping others cook affordable, delicious, healthy meals. Rob Nixon is the man behind the YouTube channel, Nicko's Kitchen, which hit 100 million views earlier this year. The Perth dad is now a bona fide internet celebrity. Just look at the reaction he gets from some of his fans.
Singapore, how are you?
All right!
Come on! Come on!
Well, he's here. You wanted him, and he's here. He's come up from Australia to be here with us, especially today.
Yeah.
What do you say we bring some people into the kitchen right now?
Wow!
Wow, Rob. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. You're obviously very, very big in Singapore, I think that vision was from.
You're the One Direction of cooking.
You are.
I haven't heard that term before, the One Direction of cooking. I'll take that. Yeah.
It's such a good idea, though, Rob, because quite often you get home and you just can't think. So is that where this kind of idea came from?
Yeah, it did. I wanted to sort of make cooking accessible to everybody, and especially not just dinner party stuff, but when you came home on a Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. So that's sort of what I wanted to do.
It's such a fabulous idea. I'm not a cook at all. Whenever I attempt to cook, my daughters go, "Oh no, mummy, the smoke alarm won't go off, will it?" For a lot of sort of mums who think, "Oh, what am I going to cook tonight? What can I get my kids to eat?" What's a good sort of foolproof, easy recipe you can suggest for us?
Well, there's a breakfast one that really took off and I love. It's sort of like a baked breakfast. So you've got your bacon, your bread and your eggs in there, and you just sort of layer it all up and put it in the oven, just leave it for about half an hour, and then you slice it up so it becomes sort of like this breakfast slice that you can have, and it's just amazing. It's beautiful.
Ooh, that sounds
Sounds lovely. I was reading up on you because I hadn't heard of your amazing success before, and I noticed that you said the biggest problem being a good cook is a person overcoming the obstacle of themselves. You know, that you've got to have confidence if you've got to be a cook. How does somebody like my dear colleague Jessica, who has no confidence about herself in the kitchen, how does she give herself confidence and sort of go gung-ho into the kitchen?
You have to just make mistakes. I mean, you obviously learn from your mistakes. But again, I think this is a great thing, especially with what I do, is that someone can watch what I do and I can sort of reply back to them and saying, look, this is what you're doing wrong. So there's someone at the other end there. But it is all about confidence. And the more you do it and the more success you have at it, you're going to try different things. So that's where I wanted to do. My recipes were very simple, and I designed them that way because I want people to get back into the kitchen to succeed, to build that confidence. So if you're making something really, really simple and it's good and it tastes great, you're going to want to move on to different other things and sort of explore different flavours and different techniques.
Actually, David has a question first. What's your question, David?
Just that you have an extraordinary audience on YouTube. What's the reason for that? How did you get that?
Well, there's no silver bullet. There's no marketing or anything like that. It's like a digital word of mouth. It's a bit old-fashioned that way. The bulk of my audience is in the US. Probably about 70% of my audience is in the US. But I've got a large following through Asia and Australia and Canada and the UK. So I think it just goes back to making cooking sort of accessible again. I think cooking shows traditionally on television, like I said before, you'll do them as dinner party recipes and maybe once in a while, but not for that sort of Tuesday night at 6 o'clock when you've been working for 10 hours. So that's sort of what I wanted to do and still continue to do today. And I think that just struck a chord with people when I started 6 years ago and still does.
And are you still based in Perth?
Yes, I am. I travel a lot nowadays. We've just come back from Los Angeles and Chicago from doing some live shows and some work over there. But Australia's home and Perth is definitely home for me. So.
Well, it's an extraordinary transformation, Rob, from a Perth airport worker to an internet sensation. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
No worries.